Last week we talked about the chaotic attempt on the life of President Gerald Ford in 1975. But guess what? There's another one coming right up, and it's about 17 days later. This week on American Loser.
Fill her up!
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
On the edge they take the throne, built on bones of those unknown. Coming first, never last, still erased from the past. I am an American loser. No one remembers my name. No legacy and no future. One step behind in the game.
What is going on here, folks? It's me, KP Burke. That means we're going to talk about another weird, messed up story from American history here on American Loser. We're, of course, recording over at Gas Digital Network. The great Mike Harrington over there being producer emeritus, back from his sojourn, if you will, to Italy. And, of course, the Dominator, who, Dom, we love you, but I can't compete with Mark Ruffalo, okay? Dude met Mark Ruffalo about 10 minutes before the show started. I'm dog shit to him. No, that's really what happened there. Wow. If you guys are new to the show, then enjoy. We're gonna have a great time on the show today. It's what we do is we cover weird topics from American history. Last week's episode was a straight up banger. This idea was brought to me by my producer Mike Harrington. He wanted me to look into one tiny little detail, and what wound up happening is we found 3 weeks worth of content for you guys, because that's how nuts this 17-day stretch in 1975 was. If you're brand new to the show, welcome. If you're an old loser devotee, you guys already know my next guest, a recurring guest on the old school New Jersey version of American Loser. He's what you call a pro in this business, folks. It's my buddy Ty Raney back in action.
Wow. Thank you. Wow, pro. Thank you. Man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for having me on again, man. Appreciate that.
And dude, we appreciate you repping Maddie Smith just hardcore.
You see this, right? I came with the wrong shit on, so I had to get, the spare shirt in the back. I hope nobody was wearing this shit like 2 days ago in the back and was just throwing it on the couch.
No, it mostly just lives on the wall as part of the decoration. That might be the first time anyone's actually worn it.
Oh, really? So this is wall decoration.
Yeah. That's art.
Oh, well, I'm a trade. Just take my shit, put it up on the wall. That's it. I think it's from TJ Maxx. Old Navy.
It's a sharp-looking shirt, man. But this is why we love you, Ty, because you roll with the punches on this one. So, green screen, obviously, here. We're not actually in a bar, folks. I'm not actually starting a militia. If I did, I think this is probably what it would look like. That's. But Ty used to come on the show back in the day. Always had fun. He was requested back, too, and he's a friend of mine. So this was a win-win, dude.
Absolutely, man.
So you came in. We'll make you rock a Maddie Smith shirt. And by the way, Maddie has shirts that she has worn for sale, but that's only on Etsy, I believe. That's her Etsy shop, folks. So if you want to have the actual scent of Maddie Smith, another friend of the show.
Maddie Smith. Shout out to Maddie Smith. I seen you on Wildin' Out. Good shit.
She's good people, man. Also, real quickly, guys, you already know the deal. If you want to check out the show, if you missed anything in the back catalog, the only way to get the back catalog is to subscribe to the Gas Digital Network. They're helping us raise this thing up to the next level. It's been nothing but a joy to be here every week. Use the promo code LOSER, and you'll get $1 off a month. You get access to the entire full back catalog, and we can play the unedited stuff. If you guys want to know about Deep State Forrest Gump, that happened naturally on air last week. And this story is just as messed up, man. Ty, what I'm going to do, I'm going to catch you up in a hurry on this one. We didn't mean for it to be multiple parts. We locked you down. I was excited to hang with you.
Okay.
But this one was nuts. How much do you know about President Gerald Ford?
Not that much.
He gets skipped over a lot.
74? 38th president?
30. Damn. See, this is why Ty's money on this show, folks. All right. He reps other comics merch. He also knows the numbers of the presidents. Pretty right on.
I ain't even gonna front. I had to Google that shit real quick. I was like, I ain't going in here straight blind on the test. I was like, let me cheat code a little bit of this shit in here instead of just feeling it out in the dark. But yes, I knew he was a president. I just didn't know what line. I knew it was in the 70s. I didn't know which president he was.
No, you already know more than most people. I also, he's a guy you get skipped over all the time because when you're reading about, the history of the presidents or anything like that in our country, they're always like, yep, Nixon, absolutely, disgraceful exit here. And then then Jimmy Carter showed up, then it was Reagan. And then, you skip over a couple things.
Right.
Gerald Ford had to hold down the fort because when Nixon resigned, he became president. It's like, it's one of the only times he wasn't elected vice president. He wasn't elected to president. Both times someone resigned in disgrace, and they're like, well, Gerald Ford's got no skeletons in his closet, so we'll kick him up.
Okay.
So they did him dirty a couple of times.
Wow.
We get skipped over all the time here. I'm going to do hit me.
The only time I've remember hearing of Gerald Ford was from Beverly Hills Cop when Eddie Murphy said what was it? What was his name? I forget. It was Tackleberry, and what was the other guy's name?
Tackleberry was Police Academy.
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry. Damn it. That was Police Academy. But Eddie Murphy made a reference to one of the cops and said, "Oh, this is former President Gerald Ford," and they were in the strip club. So that's when his name kind of popped up. When you said Gerald Ford, I thought of that immediately.
It's never a good reference to him, which is why I kind of thought he fit pretty well for the show, because he's the first president to get made fun of on SNL.
Right. Okay.
So SNL comes out in '75. They mock him endlessly. Chevy Chase plays him.
Okay.
Right? I guess he had a snafu where he fell down some steps on Air Force One or something like that. So Chevy Chase played him as like a guy doing like slip and fall pranks.
Damn. Yeah.
So
that's a tough one.
But we look back on him and you're like, all right, hang on. The guy he literally got offers from the NFL.
Oh, really?
He was he was a standout for Michigan.
Wow.
When he played, he was a linebacker, I think. And then he was he was a World War II veteran for the Navy.
Okay.
Right. So he's got all these admirable things, and they're like, oh, they keep handing him the ball because he doesn't fumble. They're like, hey, all right, Spiro Agnew just got, he had to resign and disgrace as VP. Then Nixon has Watergate, and then they just hand the ball to Gerald Ford, and they're like, please just don't embarrass us,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like you're at a comedy show and a guy just straight up bombs, and you're like, all right, well, we got to put up somebody else that's not going to ruin the show here. I don't want people asking for refunds. I want them to be like, oh yeah, no, it's not everyone's night kind of a thing.
Right.
But just to do a recap for the listeners, and then we're going to dive right in on this one, because this one was too good to pass up.
Absolutely.
It was, if you're coming in blind here, folks, not like Ty. Ty, at least, he's a pro. He Googled it.
A little bit of research.
Well, Gerald Ford is president in 1975. He becomes he's got an opportunity here to heal the country, but he's stuck with assuming an office that he didn't win the election for. That's a weird one.
Okay.
Then on top of that, he also he can't build any goodwill because he pardons Nixon. So he gives a presidential pardon so that Nixon can't go to jail or serve any time for his crime or anything like that. So you get that little asterisk, you get the stink on Nixon, but Gerald Ford pardoned him, and they were loving Ford at first. America was like, finally, we got Nixon gone. Let's see what Gerald Ford's all about. And when he pardoned him, he kind of, everybody just goes, up. It's a big club. We're not in it. That kind of a vibe.
Right.
So this is where it gets wild. There's not one, but two attempts on his life, rather, I should say, both in California, both within the span of 17 days.
Damn.
And I unpacked, because the way that I do the show, it's not anything crazy, folks. I just read, I pull a couple different sources, try to make sure I'm accurate. I don't ever want to lie to you.
Yeah.
But this is all being done in the break room of my job. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I sit there with a computer and I'm reading, and I was like, I can't do this in one episode. So last week's episode was the first attempt on his life, which was in Sacramento.
Okay.
And I said, okay, we'll just cover that, and then we'll get to the thing I really want to talk about with the second attempt. But how do you skip over the fact that President Gerald Ford was almost whacked by a member of the Manson family?
The Marilyn Manson family?
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson family?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
The legit Manson family. And she was like a higher up, too. Her name was Squeaky Fromm. And she's...
The cleaner.
Yeah.
Squeaky Fromm.
That would be a great nickname for her.
The cleaner. Squeaky clean. Get rid of this shit.
Well, she would have had to have because her full name was Lynette Squeaky Fromm, and she doesn't, all great assassins have three names, right?
Okay, I guess. All right.
That's, because you had John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, then I always forget, what's the name of the guy that killed Martin Luther King? Oh, yeah, Central Intelligence Agency. Anyway.
The CIA.
Well, actually, he comes into the story a little bit, because I'm trying to figure out...
MLK does?
Yes.
Yeah?
And post-mortem, obviously, too.
Okay, yeah.
But it's 1975. I'm trying to figure out, why do so many people want to get rid of President Ford? And it's such a goofy story that it does take me 3 episodes to unpack. So now that I caught you up to speed on this one, anytime you want to jump in on anything, man, because I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was reading.
That's wild. It's wild already. Two freaking attempts. I mean, why are they so bad at it?
The reason is because they're ladies.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Pay them more, goddammit.
Really, it's just It's a boys' club, you know.
Okay.
It's a boys' club. This world of assassins, if you will.
Okay.
But it made me laugh because most historians will actually consider they're like Gerald Ford was an honorable guy, but these attempts on his life, he actually had to start wearing. This is true. A bulletproof trench coat after this. Yeah,
A bulletproof trench coat.
Yep. So the only reason he lives through the first attempt, this is like when you and me talk about like. If I put the idea in your head about Secret Service, like what's the imagery that comes to you? Like, because I always thought badass, you know, karate moves.
I think of you know, guys kind of shaped like bowling pins, but kind of in shape with little ear things behind the ear. You know, maybe you know, Secret
that's
Service.
the coolest one.
You
We
know,
all
the
like
coolest
that.
one. Just a little either looking like a hearing aid-ish. Kind
Just
of
adjacent to it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what when I think about Secret Service. You know, not a whole lot of eye contact. Your head's on the swivel.
Sunglasses and suits, right?
Sunglasses and suits. You're very serious. You don't smile at shit. You
No.
don't even smile at children when they walk by. You just kind of look, just just kind of frown at them a little bit. You're serious all the damn time. No chuckling.
It's no, that's a serious gimmick too. And then you described me as a that's what I think of myself as a bowling pin.
Oh, okay. Oh. Are you Secret Service, man?
If you know what I would need? I would need a suit. I'd need the sunglasses. I'd need the cool earpiece.
You need the cool earpiece. That's most definitely.
We put them on a pedestal to a degree because the more I'm reading, I'm like, yo, they're not really great at their jobs. Or it's just an impossible job. I can't figure out which one that is.
You got to anticipate shit. It's a difficult job because you're pretty much sacrificing yourself. You're putting yourself out there to pretty much take a bullet for somebody that you don't love them.
And it's a government job, so you know it doesn't pay great.
Yeah. Listen, if I got hired, you know right off the bat, I don't love you. I'm not really going to take a bullet. I'm taking this check and the pension.
Who would you think
with it.
the pension?
Whatever comes with it. I'm taking that shit. I ain't taking no fucking bullet.
That would be great too if there's like, oh yeah, we actually said we looked at it. We do understand that you took a bullet for the president, but you're going to have to come back to work. Just so you know, this is a light limited duty for the rest of the week for you, buddy.
Jesus
All right?
Christ! You take a bullet, they buy you ice cream cake, some shit.
Who do you think? Who would you think would have this one? Bothered me when I was talking to a friend of mine about this on the phone after I got done writing this. But who do you think has better security? The current president of the United States, or any of them within the last 10, 15 years, or Sabrina Carpenter?
Sabrina Carpenter? Who's Sabrina Carpenter?
That's the little espresso girl. Come on, Harrington, you know her.
The
You have her
little
t-shirt.
espresso girl?
It's she's a I don't even know what to call her. I guess she's like the new Britney Spears type thing.
Is she really?
Yeah, so she's
If she's on that level, I would say Sabrina Carpenter probably has better security
than the president?
Yeah, do you see the president's security all unorganized and shit?
it's a little. Oh, there she is. That's Sabrina.
Oh, that's Sabrina right there?
Yeah, she's.
Some people say young Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
Is that what they say?
oh wow.
That's what some people are
I've
saying.
never seen a young Hillary
I
Clinton.
just keep seeing memes that said Bill Clinton went home to this every night and still cheated.
Fuck out of here.
Wow.
I don't think Bill came home to that shit every night.
was
There's
gonna-
no way Hillary, unless she's a
Let's be
shapeshifter.
honest.
There's
If you
no
look
way.
like that, you don't get a law degree. I don't think. I think you're just like, listen, I can make money off pretty.
There's no way.
But I'm going to agree with Ty. By the way, I do think that chick probably has better security than the president.
Absolutely.
And the only reason that they stopped this first attempt on Gerald Ford, by the way, was because I swear to God, I wasn't making this up. The Manson family chick had she wanted to get a revolver at first. The guy who gave her the gun was like, "Here, take a revolver. It's more reliable." And she said no, and she took an automatic. And she didn't realize you had to chamber around in an automatic. So she actually had her shot on Gerald Ford and just went click,
Click, click. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only reason that they were able to tackle her to the ground was because it kept making a clicking sound. And she goes, "Oh, would you believe it? It didn't go off."
Damn, there was no YouTube then. She could have YouTubed that shit before she actually brought it out there to put in that work.
Yeah, just a quick YouTube search. And you could figure,
Didn't have that search engine then.
it would have been great if we had footage of that and you could see Secret Service tackling her.
Yes.
Then it'd be on TikTok and you'd mash it up to like the Smash Mouth. Somebody.
Yeah. Most definitely.
How soon would that be on? Will be all over TikTok. I mean, World Star Hip Hop would be all over that one. I would imagine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, it's crazy because Squeaky's going to. She had a chance to do it. That's how bad. By the way, I'm not disrespecting the Secret Service. I understand it's an impossible
serious.
job.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
But when you realize how close 17. All right, you get that big high alert where you're like, all right, hey, just we'll talk comedy on this one.
Yeah.
If you bomb, right, and you're sitting there like, all right, I got to work on myself. I don't ever want to feel this way again. I was caught unprepared, and I got to get better, right? Yeah. And then you're like, okay, how long does that last before you're like, oh, it's just that crowd, right? Because to me, 17 days, I'm still sitting there feeling the shame of a bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't go away. No, I quit that night.
Do you have, in your head, do you have your worst bomb?
Yeah. Probably the one I had that no one's able to see, which was in prison. Yeah. I did a prison tour, Pennsylvania.
Buddy, I don't even know this one.
Yeah, I'd done a couple of prison tours. I'd done 36 SCI, State Correctional Institutions.
That's insanity.
And I couldn't remember which prison it was, but I had a pretty hard bomb. It was, I'm going to say it like this. I got booed, but not booed by the entire gymnasium. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's any better. You know what I mean? But it's a different type of boo when it's all men. It kind of
it sure is.
It kind of reverbs in your chest, like you feel the vibration. I can still feel it now.
Oh,
but yeah,
What state were you in? Do you know?
I was in Pennsylvania, but I don't know. I forgot what prison. I mean, it could have been Dallas. It could have been Waymart. It was so many prisons that we were doing over the holiday season, and it all kind of just fuses together. But there was one, none of my shit was hitting. And these motherfuckers started booing me. Like, they came there to fuck with you anyway. But motherfuckers started booing me. And it just got worse. Just boo, boo, boo. And it would just...
It hit you like a tidal wave.
It just hit me. And then I had another prison show to do like the next day. So I had to pull that shit together and redeem myself. Oof. Thank God I did. Thank God I did.
You know what you could do for merch, though, on those? You could sell cigarettes. Loose cigarettes would be great merch.
You can sell merch and go to jail. Like, you can't bring shit in prison, but courage. That's the only thing you can bring into prison.
Oof.
You can't bring anything
man.
in there. Yeah, that's it.
Ooh.
You go in there, it's just, no hoodies. They pat you down. They scan your hands for any kind of, like, drug residue or whatever. They offer, if you want, some prisons offer you a rape whistle, which I found was probably very needed.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. First couple of prisons didn't offer it. One prison offered it, and I took the shit. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get that whistle. But I think the hardest thing about that day when I did bomb, as the inmates were leaving the gymnasium, because they exit before we do, these two dudes were about to leave the gym, and they turned around and they was like, yo, when y'all coming back? And I said, oh, we'll probably be back like probably February or something like that. They were like, not you. I was like, oh, shit. Like that. Almost hit as hard as the boo. I was like, damn, that really hurt.
Certain crowds let you know how they feel.
Right away.
See, because you're my friend, I always want good things. So I also want, in my mind, I'm hoping you have a story where you're like, I walked in, it was the whole Aryan Brotherhood, and they were like, all right, we have to admit he's pretty funny. That's it.
No, it was probably two Aryans from the Brotherhood that was there.
Jesus, I'm
maybe 8, maybe a couple.
So your shit is steeped in realism. I'm coming up with like, what's the sitcom way of looking at this? You're like, no, this is accurate.
No, yeah, man, that shit is Prison is real. That shit is there. They're there.
You get more fascinating every time we talk, by the way. I hope you know that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. This is my life. Shit. I'm not making this shit up. This is my life. Yeah.
Oh, man. If we could figure out a way to... All right, so today's loser, the person that we're focusing on for this story, she winds up serving a jail sentence for what she's about to pull here. So I would love it if there was some way, shape, or form that you did stand up for this person we're about to talk about.
Wow. Wow.
Dude, that was, I'm still hung up on this story, but dude, all right, I have questions for you after.
Okay, so, yeah, man, let me know.
To jam into real quickly, the zeitgeist. We did a hell of a job explaining it last week's episode. I did a great job on it, but it's only 17 days later, so it's hard to write a whole new zeitgeist here for you folks. But the events we're talking about today are going to take place on September 22nd, 1975. You could be jamming out to Wish You Were Here, the new song by Pink Floyd, or cranking it out to Messina Miller, who is the Playmate of the Month for Playboy in 1975. She's very pretty. She's a very pretty girl. I looked her up. That's why she shows up in my search history. Carly, just letting you know. Mm. She's very pretty. She gets skipped over all the time, though, because the month prior, August, centerfold for Playboy, was Lillian Mueller, who was the teacher from Van Halen's Hot for Teacher video.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a time capsule.
That was pretty goddamn hot.
I was going to say iconic, if nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're the 38th president of the United States, you're noticing that your wife is praying for your safety every time you leave on a business trip. And you're like, that was 17 days ago. It'll never, this is like once every 5 presidents, there's an attempt. You know, it's ridiculous. Boom, you know, less than 3 weeks later, there's another attempt on his life. We're going to enter in, again, that boys club, if you will, of famous assassins. Those are the people that in their own mind created change, whatever they want to say. But San Francisco, as progressive as it is, they're ready to challenge the status quo. Ever progressive San Francisco. They're saying, hey, what if a woman was the person who took out the president? That would be pretty great, right? And she's got the requisite 3 names. Her name is Sarah Jane Moore.
Sarah Jane Moore. All right.
When you hear that name, what are you thinking?
Think of like a spin-off of like Sara Lee cakes or some shit like that.
Right,
Sarah
a
Jane
woman who
Moore.
looks like
Doesn't
she'd
sound
be
threatening.
She knows how to bake.
Yeah, she knows how to bake. She definitely knows how to bake. She drives like a Subaru or some shit. And she has 2 dogs and a cat. You know, it's like Sarah
This
Jane
is eerily
Moore.
close what you're doing, by
Yeah.
the way. This is you're doing a good size up on this one.
Yeah.
She's a nice girl from West Virginia. She's born in
Jesus.
she's born in 1930.
Okay.
She's going to be 45 at the time of the incident here. That's the chick
Okay.
that you just pretty much, is that what you were thinking?
Is that not a woman that owns a cat? Look at her. Look at her. Look at that hair. She's
It's
got the
all
Three's
there.
Company hair. Look at that.
She sure does, man. It's and you look at her and you're like, this woman knows how to bake something.
Does.
She's baking, you know, whether it be goods or you know, plots against the president. We don't know, but she's pretty much a character here. You were nailing it, by the way. 4 kids. She's divorced 5 times.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, how can I wonder if they
Wow.
couldn't make it work?
Didn't work out, huh?
No, it's she's like, sometimes you just gotta get rid of them. That's her answer for everything. She get 5 divorces, and then she's like, well, I got to get divorced from Gerald Ford now.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
You leaving me too?
she's converts to Judaism later in life, but she was raised Christian. You hear West Virginia, you never think. I don't know. I don't even know if they know what. You know, Judaism is. That's
yeah.
and that's not a slight against them here either. You just, you know, we're Jersey guys. We grew up around, you know, Jewish people and Italian people. That was, you can't not.
West Virginia is a special. I went to school in West Virginia State.
No
It's
shit.
it's so fucking crazy. Yes, West Virginia State Institute, West Virginia
Kismet.
is like the KKK capital. It's freaking crazy.
That's the stronghold?
I've seen enough when I was there. My first year there, in West Virginia. I only did 1 year there, but there was I remember there was a deli up the street, kind of like a luncheonette, and it was called Whitey's. I kid you not,
Okay, so it's not Whitey Bulger. It's not
bro.
Whitey Fords.
It was called Whitey's, and it was a place where all the students kind of hung out, but not all the students hung out. You know what I mean? It was
I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it was like all eyes on me, like a Tupac thing. I was like, whoa. You guys want to get burgers from here? Like, how about we get pizza? You know, but it was a weird thing. They didn't hide their racism out there. It was very open, and this is 90s, early 94. When I was out
Insanity.
there. West Virginia State is it's different. It's really different. Yeah.
See-
I'm surprised she can't shoot.
So it gets even weirder because she could shoot, but she was.
There you go.
This is because you're right. You nailed it, dude. Your size up on this it's freaking me out almost, and very kismet that you also have some experience in West Virginia.
Yeah, I've been out there, man.
I'm waiting to see what else is going to wind up popping up here. It's she's out in San Francisco at this time.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
Like we said, divorced 5 times. She has 4 kids. She's up for the challenge here. She's going to be the person. She's a radical, progressive type person, which when we ever talk about a political term, it doesn't mean anything because the parties ebb and flow every 30 years or so. That's been my experience, at least. So when we say something, people will think in the modern sense, but it's not. This is 1975 politics. It was pretty intense. There's a lot of reasons to be very haphazard in your approach towards the government here. A lot of stuff going on in the news, which at that time, which we're going to get into in a second. But she's got all this crazy stuff going on in her life here. She's a little bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was calling her a prima donna, and I thought that was, I just patted myself on the back. That was clever shit, folks.
Clever.
That's it.
That was clever.
It's not good. I wrote that and I was like, time to put in another nicotine pouch. We're running out of gas, folks. She got obsessed with Patty Hearst. I don't know if you know anything about
No,
Patty
who's
Hearst.
Patty Hearst. Patty Hearst.
Patty Hearst was William Randolph Hearst's granddaughter.
Okay.
So William Randolph Hearst was the guy they made Citizen Kane about.
Okay.
Now she gets kidnapped, I think in the late 60s, early 70s, and she's just like a Paris Hilton type chick, going to school, trying to figure out her life, but she knows she comes from money. And they kidnap her, and she winds up becoming a militant. It's a Stockholm syndrome. It's like one of the big Stockholm syndrome cases ever, where she then learns to identify with the cause of her kidnappers. And then, like, within a couple of weeks or months of her being kind of brainwashed by this group, there's actually bank camera footage of her with a cigarette in her mouth holding a gun, helping them stick up banks together. So now she's on the side. They kidnapped her, and now she's doing the dirty work with them.
Holy shit.
So this chick got obsessed with her, like became almost like would bring it up at parties.
She got obsessed with Hearst.
So yes, Patty Hearst became the point of obsession for Sarah Jane Moore.
For Sarah Jane. Wow.
She's like, oh, I wish I could do what that girl did.
Wow.
She's out there making change in the world.
Wow.
We did do an episode on Patty. We did do an episode on William Randolph, her grandfather. Both in the back catalog, folks.
Wow. What inspires you?
It's I always just pictured that it's like she brings it up at inopportune times, where the person who can't wait to talk about something at a party, where just like, oh, did you catch the score in the game the other day? Well, Patty Hearst is an interesting thing. Now that you mentioned, I got so many. There's people I work with that they can't wait to just bring up the thing they were going to talk about.
Right.
So it's they're not actually listening.
Right. Hard to segue into it. Just change it.
Yeah, like that's crazy. I made pork belly the other day. That's what? How are we talking about this one?
What?
But what they do is to try after this Patty Hearst thing is starting to settle in a little bit. What the group was about is they were saying the Hearst family has way too much money, and there's no reason why somebody has so much money, and then there's people starving on the streets in San Francisco.
Right.
So you want to address that. That's a rational thing to talk about, right?
Absolutely.
So they establish a thing, the Hearst family called PIN, which is called People in Need.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be like a way to, like a food bank type thing,
right?
Help spread some of the money out, show a little bit of love back to the community that you've obviously done very well as being a part of.
Okay.
So she's in this group called PIN, and she winds up, she gets out of a couple sticky situations while she's there. And they think that there's a couple of reasons. There's two worth mentioning here. Number one, that chick we saw who looks like, somebody's weird aunt with cats, like you said.
Yes.
She'd been evaluated by Secret Service earlier in the year, before she makes this attempt on Gerald Ford's life. Government agencies aren't really big on sharing intel or informants, but it's very much within the realm of possibility that she got cleared because our girl, Sarah Jane Moore, was an FBI informant.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so she's that woman we just saw who looks like someone's aunt in like a very nice obituary you would write. She survived by 4 cats and 17 dogs.
She was an FBI informant?
FBI informant. So she was She was giving them info about what was going on at that PIN thing. Meanwhile, she's also obsessed with Patty Hearst. Wow. So this is where it gets even trippier. So the attempt on Gerald Ford's life is the 22nd. And meanwhile, on September 21st, Sarah Jane Moore, a radical revolutionary / FBI informant / suspicious person on the Secret Service radar. Well, that's a lot of S's. Yeah. And a cat person, more than likely. Let's be honest. I'd be curious if we could find that out. She gets arrested, and the charges don't stick, but the police do confiscate. This chick had a .44 caliber Charter Arms Bulldog revolver. Harrington, if you can pull up a Charter Arms Bulldog revolver, it's worth seeing.
That sounds horrible.
It's an intense looking gun.
Yeah, it sounds like it does damage.
Very powerful gun, and it's interesting to me that it was that specific make for 2 reasons. It's a powerful revolver. There you go.
Would you look at that late night? I'm gonna rob the liquor store gun right
100%.
there. Holy shit!
Notice it's only got 5 rounds.
Yeah,
that one's so I grew up shooting and stuff like that. A revolver was always 6 shots to me. That one was such a high caliber and a tiny gun that they only put 5 rounds in it.
Because the bullets were so big? Is that why?
I mean, that's for hunting elephants and shit, right? A .44 caliber.
Oh, that's just laying people out.
That's what, if you had a .44, I think De Niro had one in Taxi Driver. And
okay.
I think the drug dealer, the weird sleazy guy that sold him the gun, I think he goes, that's for like hunting elephants and shit,
Wow.
So they take this gun away from her, which, by the way, because we talked about it, she could shoot. Mm-hmm. If she was able to have that gun that was confiscated the day before, Gerald Ford is dead. There's no doubt about it. She had him dead to rights. She actually got within 40 feet of him. So all you have to do is get it near him, and he's done on a 44.
Take
right?
a chunk out you.
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
And so this is what was interesting. Anytime there's an assassin that has a fame, like their gun becomes famous. We talked about that. This guy that tried to kill President Garfield, Charles J. Gateau, he literally picked out his gun in the store that day, and he goes, give me the one with the pearl handles. This is going to go up in a museum one day. It's about to become very famous.
Damn.
So assassins have a little bit of it's like their masterpiece they're trying to paint.
Yeah, he's planning ahead.
So Sarah Jane playing ahead.
I like that. He's planning ahead, man.
Well, Sarah is interesting because if she had pulled off the assassination with the 44 caliber, number one, that's the gun she knew and she could probably shoot. That gun would have been famous for two reasons, because the exact Charter Arms Bulldog revolver, that 44 caliber, also the same make, model, and caliber gun as used by the son of Sam, David Berkowitz.
Oh my God.
He was the 44 caliber killer, they called him.
Wow.
So that would have been a doubly famous firearm. At what point are you like, all right, we got to stop making this? It seems to make everybody crazy.
This thing is, people are obsessed with this fucking gun.
Yeah, it does things to people.
It does things to people.
I don't know
It
what to
gives
do
you
with that.
too much power.
Well, if it had worked out, then it would have been extra famous on that one. But not only did they take the gun away from her, local authorities, I think it was San Francisco City cops.
Yeah.
They also take away, she had 113 rounds on her.
God damn.
Yeah. So she was.
Oh, she was going to finish him. That was it.
Either finish or, I mean, I don't know what you're getting up to, but 113 rounds of 44 caliber, that's not a hunting round. That's
that's a who want it. Who else? You can get it too. That's
to get 100 rounds for something for a handgun, you're like, oh, that's going to be a very long day at the range. But 44, at some point, you're like, God, my arm hurts. You know?
Yeah, your thumb got to get callous trying to reload that thing,
especially
right?
in a revolver, too.
In a
right?
revolver, it's hot.
And it's a little one too, so it's going to bounce up on you and everything.
It got a little weight too. I'm sure it got a kickback.
I think that the running joke I had heard was that the 45, the 1911 45, they always say there's 8 rounds in it, and then when you're done missing all 8 shots, it's heavy enough that you can use it as a club. That was the joke they used to make.
Damn.
But our girl gets her, she gets her gun confiscated, and she doesn't do jail time, though. They take her gun away. They literally strip her of one of her Second Amendment right, and they put her right back out on the street. Like, well, we're taking the gun away, but you just do what you want to do. So this is when you realize you're like, so I heard something cool.
Wow.
Anybody on the street, in the criminal underground, if you will, if they're violent outwardly and openly,
Yeah.
they say almost guaranteed that means you're an informant of some sort, because that's the way you can have that bravado where you know you're protected.
Okay, got you.
So it's like your video game cheat code thing.
Right.
So, it's what was the great one with Denzel, where he was Frank White. Can't believe I'm blanking right now.
Oh, yeah.
Frank
Lucas.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So it was, I can't believe I'm blanking on that one. It was, American Gangster.
American Gangster.
There you go.
Yeah, my bad.
So
yeah,
that epic
American
scene in there where he just walks down the street and blows the guy's head off. If somebody does that in real life, you're like, all right, these guys are tied up in some sort of, you're ratting on somebody. Yeah. So that's why they're operating with this weird sense of autonomy, if you will.
Yes.
But anyway, they take our girl's gun away. But nonetheless, she persisted, folks. She's going to go ahead and make her move here. The very next day, she goes out and utilizes that same Second Amendment right and buys herself a new gun.
Look at that.
It was the next day. Literally that morning, she buys a gun. So I think she probably wanted a 38. I'm sorry, she wanted a 44 and had to sell it for a 38 is what we wound up coming up with. And then she's going to wind up heading over to the world-famous St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. You ever make it out to San Fran?
For a little bit. A little bit. Not too much hanging out.
They send you out to Alcatraz to go do comedy while you were out there?
No. No. No.
Welcome to the Rock, folks.
Welcome to the Rock.
Give it up for Ty Raney.
Cring! Just lock the doors.
Oh,
no, I haven't been out there. Yeah, I've been in San Francisco, but it was brief. It was really brief.
Right on, man. It's on my bucket list to get out there.
Yeah.
I do want. There's too much cool history.
Absolutely.
They had a homeless guy that was their emperor for a while.
Oh,
I didn't know.
emperor.
So if you thought that was a new problem, it's not. That goes way back.
Yeah, the homelessness is coming back all the way back to the 70s. Actually, when I did go to California, my rental car got broken into by a homeless person.
That checks out.
Yeah.
That's so. It was in San Fran or it was just in Cali?
I think it was part of San Fran over by the pier.
That's man. I want to go out there, but then you hear all the crazy stories too. And if I was Gerald Ford, I'd probably be a little bit apprehensive about California in general. After 3 weeks, and you take there's two people trying to drop you in the streets. That's
Yeah. Get out
at
of
what
town.
point do you just say, all right, I can't work this club anymore.
Yeah.
I can't go back here. Okay,
I don't think I'm a
never
favorite
had
out here.
fun. No, it's,
Something with the energy out here.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what to. But every time I keep thinking that Harrington's trying to signal me for something important from the booth there, but I think he's just killing a fly. That's,
Okay.
I'm trying. I'm failing.
You will succeed. If only you had a 44 caliber Charter Bulldog revolver, you could have made things happen, Harrington.
You'd be Lord of the Flies if you can kill them all.
This kind of led me to a whole thing here is that she's going to write herself into the history books. Now, in her mind, she's going to take them out, right? She goes in the history books because it doesn't succeed, so we skip over this, right?
Right.
Like we talked about, too, is I'm trying to figure out if Ford is such a skipped-over president for, guys like you and me that grew up where like, oh, I know he existed. I know he was a thing. But you never talk about him. He's not on currency or anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
Why does everybody want this dude dead?
You know what? I'm not sure, but I think he was a mistake. They probably didn't want him in office to begin with. They're like, you know what? This was a fucking mistake.
I think he was also the front man. You know, when like when they have to put a new in sports where you're like, all right, we have a team that underachieved.
Yeah.
Right. So what do? You don't break down the team because you still think they can achieve. So you fire a coach and bring in a new one.
Right.
I think that's what.
That's
is that
exactly
fair?
what. Yeah. That's fair.
All right, nice.
That's fair. Yeah, just bring him in and we'll watch him flop.
Yeah, it's just it's. I don't want to make the comparison that Gerald Ford is the replacement coach for Tom Thibodeau, but you could say it.
But you could say that. You could say that. But they didn't. They motherfuckers wanted him dead. They didn't want him around. And it looks like they let the woman go. That's the crazy thing.
They let her go. She was inspected earlier in the year, and then they let her go after taking her gun away. Right.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to figure this one out, and I went through. I did do a timeline on some stuff because other things I've written about for the show started to make sense to me. So he's the face. Gerald Ford is the face. I've heard other people say before, president's like a CEO.
Okay.
So you change CEOs whenever something's not really going your way. Same thing with a head coach or whatever.
Right.
There was a lot going on, and Gerald Ford got blamed for everything. He's like a scapegoat from the government almost. So when you were saying mistake, I was already tracking with you, I think, from a similar direction where they're just like, all right, Ford, you're up there now because nobody actively hates you, and we got to heal our image a little bit because we're the bad boys right now.
Wow. Maybe he could take the heat. Maybe he's the person that can actually stand in the fire and take the heat and compose himself and deliver bullshit to the people. They're like, you know what? He's a good one for this. Let's get this guy in here. He's expendable. We can.
They
can
say
lose
that
him.
too. Yeah, that he was an honorable guy, and they're like, hey, we need a good, honest looking front man because a lot of the dirty shit we did over the last 30 years is about to come to light.
Exactly.
It's bad too. The stuff that's coming out around this time. We finally have around this time transparency in government, and it's nuts, man. This brought me back down my wormhole about the church committee.
Okay.
You ever hear of this?
No, I haven't heard of that.
All right, church committee's nuts. It's going to bring on like a ton of controversy. This is all. I'm not going conspiracy theory on you folks. Okay, I'm not going nuts. I'm not doing Alex Jones stuff here. But I will tell you that there's a reason why when you go down these wormholes, you start coming out a little bit like
yeah.
Because this is declassified. I pulled some of this off the U.S. Senate's website. I pulled this off of Frank Church. That's the guy who they named the committee after. I pulled it off of his biography on his page. I also pulled some of this stuff off of Gerald Ford's Presidential Museum page, which is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, by the way, folks.
Okay.
Frank Church is a congressman from Idaho. You ever do any prison shows out in Idaho?
No, I haven't been out to Idaho to do any shows. No.
Idaho, if you have a correctional facility and you want world-class entertainment, folks, please
I'll let you,
consider.
man.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Hire my buddy Ty, will you? All right, he's good.
I don't wear a belt. I don't have to worry about the metal detector. I'm good.
He's perfect. He's a pro too,
I know the
folks. All
rules.
right.
I know the
If you got a
rules.
green screen, just let him know ahead of time. He'll show up with an appropriate shirt.
Please, I'll come up with a shade of green that'll look acceptable until you start running the camera. Yeah.
Dude, I just pictured you walking into a place. You're like, oh, I can't wear orange. You got it's too hard to sell.
Oh. I can't wear what they're wearing? Oh, okay. All right. Fuck it.
Before I forget, I want because I'm going to dive into this in a second, man. I didn't know you were doing the prison stuff. That's amazing to me. But we get to do shows every now and then, man. You're always enjoyed it. I love watching you work. You're a great comic.
You as well, bro.
Please tell people where they can follow you right now.
You can follow me on Instagram, comedian Ty Raney. That's TYRANEY. Ty Raney. Also on TikTok, same handle, comedian Ty Raney, and YouTube, comedian Ty Raney, and Facebook, Ty Raney. First name Ty, last name RANEY. Nobody can get my fucking name right. That's why I got to spell the shit. It's
first time because keep in mind I started comedy in the South, right? And so it was not uncommon to find a guy named A Train or what was it? There was a guy, Tell Like It Is was his name. One of the other
Tell Like It Is. Mm-hmm. I don't know who that is, but
these are all guys I started with.
Okay.
If you wanted to do comedy in Jacksonville, the best place to do it was my buddy Herman Nasworth ran a room, and it was called Cometry, and it was spoken word and comedy mixed in. And you'd go in and you'd do the comedy first, and then as the night went on, the crowd would really come in for spoken word, and you'd be working. It was, I would say. You'd start it out, it would be like a mixed crowd, and then by the end of the night, it was probably like 90%, black crowd. So when I first met you, and I saw your name on, I think we were doing Tyrannies in Montclair.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and my brain went back to that where there's a guy named A Train, and I remember I was so dumb and a young kid. I was like, oh, his name's a Train? That's weird. It's whatever, good stage name, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I met you, and I swore that your name was Tyranny.
Tyranny. Yeah, yo. I'm telling you, my name is not Tyranny.
Sorry, but
it's not Tranny. My name has been butchered and not respected in this game. And you know what's even worse? When you send somebody your name, the spelling, and they'd be like, fuck it, I'm gonna spell it this way anyway. They spell it with an I, my last name with an I, because it sounds like Rainy.
Yes,
but it's pronounced Rainy, but it looks like it reads Ranny.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But
yes.
I'm Irish.
Yes, you are.
So you know what I'm saying?
100%, man.
Shit.
Fuck.
So
Larry Burke, you got some answering to do on that.
So yeah, man. You used to hack my name all up, man.
It's do me a favor though, go support Ty anytime you guys get a chance to go see him. One of the great guys here. I'm diving in on this church committee thing. Chime in on anything because I had to break it down because I couldn't even keep track of how much bonkers shit they were up to.
Oh, please do.
Frank Church is a congressman from Idaho. He gets about a large committee. It's a bunch of elected representatives that are going to be chairs and vice chairs on this thing.
Okay.
Their staff eventually gets up to 150 people. Gerald Ford deserves to be commended for how much transparency he allowed with government because post-Nixon, nobody was trusting anything from the government. Mm-hmm. And Gerald Ford is like, all right, we're going to cooperate with this investigation. We're going to show you, we're going to do a deep dive into what the world of intel is coming up with. They discover a couple of legit things that were all considered like essentially Twilight Zone episodes, but this is actually all real stuff right now.
Right.
First one they find, MK Ultra. You know about that one?
I've heard of that. Isn't that a drug? Isn't that the isn't it like an ecstasy?
So they were putting people on LSD.
Oh, right.
But sometimes they would put them in a room like this, where like Harrington and Dom are crooked CIA agents.
Right.
And then I come in here and I give you a glass. I'm like, oh, you want to have like a scotch with me real quick, man? And you're like, cool, we'll hang out, we'll have a scotch. And I was like, I put LSD in their scotch, and they say, oh, I got to run to the bathroom real quick. Then they turn all the cameras on you and they watch you through that window there to see what it does to you.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an attempt at mind control.
Attempted mind control.
They were trying to figure out how to use it. Yeah, they were
shit.
like, all right, so what was the guy's name? Doc. It wasn't Doc Rivers, was it? No, Doc Rivers is the Celtics.
Damn.
Doc.
Put Doc on MK Ultra?
Who was that? That'd be great.
Let's fuck this
Thinking
season
of
up.
Doc Gooden?
No, not Doc Gooden. Doc Gooden figured out how to pitch on coke, which is also impressive. Doc Ellis, there you go. Yes, Doc Ellis is a pitcher from Major League Baseball who pitched a perfect game on LSD.
On LSD.
Yep. So that was the theory was they're like, oh well, LSD unlocks something in these people that they were trying to make Manchurian candidates.
Yeah.
So they wanted to figure out a way to do that. They wound up accidentally creating the Grateful Dead. That's a true story.
Really? So that was like really the first sports enhancement drug. LSD.
That's what I was saying. I wanted them. My dumb joke I told Dom before was they should have ran experiments. Baseball should have been like, all right, let's give everybody LSD in spring training and see whose numbers go up or down. And you call it MLBK Ultra. I'm sorry.
MLBK Ultra. Everybody's in the outfield wigging the fuck out.
That's right. They're like, I got it. No, never mind. Just remember,
Oh, you didn't hit the ball.
I'm not a left fielder, all right? I'm not a left fielder. I should let the left fielder get the ball. I'm just a toaster. What do I know? That's
People be passing out and shit in the outfield, just chasing shit, just running into each other. That'd be something to see.
Oh, no, man. They keep
I would
telling
be
me
a
there's
baseball
a green
fan
monster.
if they were on LSD out in the outfield. I would definitely be a fan.
How could you? Yeah, the ayahuasca games. Let's make it happen, man. This is money.
Absolutely.
This is money. Harrington, what do you think? We'll put LSD and get some of your chainmail fighting guys involved with it?
That just sounds like an Angels in the Outfield sequel.
How'd you make that catch? That little guy came over and helped me make the catch, man. He didn't see you. Anyway, I'm Ray Liotta.
That's the only thing that can beat Angels is high-powered hallucinogenics. That's what the other California teams start taking.
You mean the clockwork elves?
Yeah.
Insane that they did this. Number 2, they find out this is one of the most famous pictures of Frank Church from the Church Committee. Harrington, can you bring up Frank Church heart attack gun real quick for me? I couldn't believe this was real. The CIA had a 1911 style pistol that was created by the CIA to shoot a barely detectable dart into its victim's chest, right? There's one of the most famous pictures of the whole Church Committee right there. That gun, you would point it at somebody with a scope on it, and you would shoot this dart into them. The dart had saxitoxin in it, which was a poison derived from shellfish, and then it would cause cardiac arrest, but it would make only a little tiny, like blemish, if you will, on your skin. So it'd be like a little tiny red spot. But if a guy's having a heart attack, you can be like, oh, must have had when we tore his shirt open, try to do chest compression.
You said that shit had shellfish in it?
A poison derived from shellfish. I shit you not, dude. I couldn't believe it when I read it.
With crab, shooting people with crab claws and a big ass gun that looks like Megatron from the Transformers when they used to play with a toy. That's a big ass handgun to shoot a little ass dart.
Yeah, for something so covert.
You see the scope?
Yeah, you're just sitting there just trying to like, hang on, be real.
First off, you got a handgun with a scope. That's ridiculous. Shoots a crab dart.
The scope makes it a little bit more detectable, more so than the shell itself, right?
You smell like Old Bay trying to load your gun.
Did somebody order crabs?
Somebody order crab?
I can't. I got a bad heart.
Oh, it's came with a nutcracker. Look at this. And some dipping sauce.
Oh my God, that'd be the best. Like, oh, he had a heart attack, but the good news is, how did you guys figure out it was the heart attack gun that killed him? He was slathered in butter.
It's melted butter all over his chest.
This that's a trippy one. That one's like my fun one on this. The other stuff gets pretty scary.
It's crazy.
Another thing they uncover, and this is all being uncovered during the presidency of Gerald Ford, by the way. This is why there's no trust. So Ford's like, hey, let's be a little bit more upfront with the public about this stuff, and the public's like, hang on, what? Every bad thing we thought you were up to, it's worse?
You can't.
They had a couple bad ones, dude. This one's extra bad. There's projects Shamrock, Mockingbird, and Minaret. This is going to be admitted watch lists and spying on American civilians, things they were concerned about, the civil rights movement. This goes back to the first Red Scare with communism. They also investigated members of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, there was no reason why the American government wasn't looking to spy in on citizens. Absolutely. So as soon as they could put you on a list, they dug in. On this list, by the way, for these projects, targets include, but are not limited to, Martin Luther King Jr. They were very scared about what he was accomplishing down there. Like, anytime in history, anytime black people start organizing,
they start getting together.
That's the original deep state. It's like, oh, I don't know, what are they talking about over there?
You better watch them. They're getting along now. They're talking.
You remember that Nat Turner thing that went down a while ago?
They be marching their asses off. You know they bought all the shoes downtown. You realize that, right? All the shoe stores are empty. They are ready to march. Dude,
it was so Martin Luther King, number one right there. Muhammad Ali, another guy that people are just like, oh, he's a great boxer, great quotes. They're like, no, there was a lot more going on.
There was a lot happening there. Yeah.
He would require about 10 episodes for us to properly cover his life on this show.
Okay.
Jane Fonda.
Really?
Yeah, Jane Fonda, who, it's sex icon. I'll put her.
She was workout lady, the leotard woman.
Yeah, she's a hot chick, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Young Jane Fonda, you do terrible things in order to get a moment alone with her. But she caught a lot of flack because of the Hanoi Jane thing that she actually camped out with. She was very big in the anti-war movement, which is another thing that they focused on. So if you were challenging the Vietnam War, then you got put on a list. And, Jane Fonda didn't help herself by posing with, anti-aircraft guns that were being used to shoot at U.S. soldiers. That's really not the best look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see why VFWs everywhere.
You're on the wrong team, bitch.
Well, they literally put Jane Fonda's face in urinals at VFWs.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's I think in there's one Army unit or whatever that whenever they say it's lights out, they say "Good night, Jane Fonda," and everybody responds back, "Good night, bitch."
Wow, really?
The hate runs deep over there.
They hate her.
And then here's the trippiest one. So, and it's tough to stand out on a list when you're up there with Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King,
and Jane Fonda.
But Frank Church himself is on this list.
Okay.
So as he's just investigating them, he goes, "Hang on, I was on the list? You guys are doing this shit to me?" They were tapping phone calls. They were opening people's mail. It was the first really wide scale kind of surveillance on civilians they were doing. So this is why everybody's nervous about all this stuff. Another thing they find in here is Operation Mockingbird, which is an attempt by the CIA to manipulate American news.
Okay.
They were like, "Hey, write us a positive story for this one here. Oh, hey, we'll give you the info, and then you guys just tell it." So it's hard to tell. That one's still alleged. They won't fully admit what happened with all that one. They found something called the Family Jewels.
No.
Which was the admitted targeted assassinations of world leaders and political figureheads as a means to control outcomes or end and subvert movements. Gerald Ford, another time, we, again, skipped over in the history books. Guess what this dude does? The first time a president has ever done this in history, he signs Executive Order 11905, which bans assassination as a political tool. He goes, "Hey, can we not take out other countries' heads of state? I think it's just a bad move for us.
Right.
We're not allowed to actively engage. Getting rid of you is not an option now. Now they
we just got to deal with you.
Right. It's like
roaches.
Neil Young.
You got to deal with this shit like fucking roaches. They'll go away.
Yeah, it's just turn the lights on.
Yeah,
they go away. They scatter. So
don't bomb the place. Just be quiet. Don't leave shit out. They won't bother you.
It's terrifying that the stuff that they're getting out there in the open. Now, by the way, Ford signs that. He doesn't sign it until I think it's 76 when he signs it, but he almost doesn't live long enough to sign it because someone else is trying to take him out as a head of state. So it's a dicey. It's not easy being number one at the top.
Damn.
All right. It's Frank Church goes on Meet the Press in August of 1975 and uncovers some of his findings. And then just a couple of days later, what winds up happening is our girl Sarah winds up making this attempt on his life over here. The one that she was in, this is the one that specifically spoke to Sarah Jane Moore. Everything else was just, how do I not mention that on air? COINTELPRO, which is deep surveillance on Americans involved in causes that concern them. Like we said, civil rights, anti-war protests. They had a frequent call out of this playbook, if you will. They were always kind of pulling this one. Let's get an informer in there, and then we can get them to kind of, find out what the group's all about and then rat into us.
Right.
Sarah Jane Moore was doing that. She was an FBI informant for PIN, and they also knew that she was involved with these left-wing radical groups back then. So this comes out in an article written by Ellen Hume of the LA Times back then, which was one of the most prestigious papers in the world. This is where it gets crazy. So the same tactic they use with like Black Klansmen, or like, let's get somebody on the inside, and then we're going to figure it out there, or Donnie Brasco, let's get somebody in on the mafia.
Yeah.
So they're using Sarah Jane Moore to figure out what these San Francisco Bay Area radical groups are all about. Sarah's funny because she just can't shut up about it. Did she look like she'd be an interesting woman to have a conversation with?
No, not at all.
I was going to say, that's like, thank you for coming. Great meeting you. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, no. You don't even want to tell her about, Twitter or Instagram or anything because you're like, she won't know how to do this.
She won't know. She has no fucking idea. She'd be calling me every day. How do you get on here again?
I'm trying to like one of your posts. And I just can't seem to find a way.
I saw you and you went away.
She's on her. She probably has 7 profiles. She just, because every time she forgets the password, so she creates another one.
Just add underscore. Another underscore.
Sarah Jane Moore. I'm sorry. I said Jane Foster. Oh, wow. We're all over the place today.
Jane Foster.
Ellen Hume writes one of the most prolific pieces on Sarah Jane Moore, saying that Sarah wouldn't shut up about how involved she was with the FBI. And also, according to Ellen Hume, she admits that she goes, Yeah, Sarah Jane Moore was calling me so much that I stopped answering her calls because they were writing a piece about her and she thought she was going to become famous. And because she was involved in these left-wing radical groups.
Wow.
But she also had a public break with the FBI. She wanted the article to come out and say, oh, yeah, and she's no longer an FBI informant. That served two purposes. One, she was afraid she was going to get whacked by the left-wing radical group because they had already offed another informant.
Right.
Right. So that gets a little mafia move to this thing.
Okay.
And she says, well, if I publicly break with them in the paper, then they'll know I'm actually part of their cause. And then they'll finally accept me.
You fucking kidding me?
This is a 44-year-old woman, right? It's a 45-year-old one. I'm sorry.
God bless her.
Yeah, she's. This is a midlife crisis for our girl Sarah.
God bless her. They won't come after me.
That was honest to God what she was thinking on this one. So she thinks that she's calling nonstop this Ellen Hume woman and saying, when's the article coming out? I need the article to come out. And she goes, well, it's not coming out till maybe next week or something like that. It's going to run in a different edition. And she goes, oh, so she probably had heat on her from the group that they knew she was a rat.
Right.
And she was going to get taken out. So they think that's what forced her to make this attempt on Gerald Ford's life. So
wow.
This is they drove her to that. She's like, I swear to God, my show's coming out on the network soon. Just let me get 5 minutes of stage time. Nope, you can't have it. I just until it's on network. I don't care.
I want to clear my name.
Well, she intends to spark this revolution. She thinks she's going to get welcomed in with open arms.
Right.
They're like, oh, finally our leader has arrived type thing.
Right.
By the way, if she was successful, and it's a left-wing radical group. This is the only reason that I mention this because I try to stay away from politics as much as I can on the show. But you're a left-wing, progressive, radical group, and this woman who's involved with you is like, I'm gonna off President Gerald Ford, and that's going to be the great. And guess who would have become president? His VP, Nelson Rockefeller.
Oh, really?
That's
exactly who you want in office.
The
right?
socialist solution is the most capitalist name in capitalism history to become the president.
Yeah, president of the Boys Club and president of the United States.
So it was a short-term plan. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
September 22nd, 1975. Ford is probably happy that the NFL strike is over. His Detroit Lions won on the 21st. San Francisco 49ers fans are dismayed over their loss, but there's a promising Monday night matchup between the then still Oakland Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. But news coverage that day is going to be all about our girl, Sarah Jane Moore, who, after purchasing her brand new revolver that morning, headed towards President Ford around 3:30, got within 40 feet of the president, and will fire 2 shots. So our first girl, Squeaky, the Manson chick, she doesn't even get a shot off. She didn't know you had to chamber her around, right?
Got the head,
Sarah Jane Moore goes to pull the trigger, gets a shot off. I'm not making this up, dude. I said West Virginia, like, oh, she can shoot?
You would think so, right?
She can shoot. The gun she bought that day is not sighted properly.
Jesus.
They say that it's 6 inches to the left.
Wow.
6 inches to the left. Her shot comes within 5 inches of Gerald Ford.
Wow.
So she would have had him twice now.
Twice, yeah.
He's not alive because security did a great job. She's alive. I'm sorry, he's alive rather because of 2 things. Number one, Sarah Jane Moore. Obviously, Squeaky didn't know how to run her gun, and then Sarah Jane Moore, who knew firearms, didn't have her gun of choice right there. She was trying to get used to it. You got to, take a couple practice shots.
She didn't even take any practice shots?
Nope, she just went straight for it.
Straight to the league. Yeah, I'm taking motherfuckers out with this.
So she tries that. Now, by the way, if she had her gun, we're swearing in President Rockefeller, which is worth mentioning here.
Yeah.
Now she pulls the trigger again after she realizes that she missed. And this time, her arm is grabbed by a bystander. And not just any bystander, but a former U.S. Marine. So who, by the way, folks, I'm not even going to get into him this week because that's next week's topic. Harrington gave this one to me. It's a gem. But this Marine knocks down her arm, and then the second shot goes off, and it actually hits a guy named Frank Ludwig, who is a taxi cab driver. So he's the only one she actually hits with a bullet. He lives, by the way.
Poor Frank.
So...
Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong. 100%. Lieutenant Frank Drebin, police squad. Now he knocks her down and saves President Ford's life, but the would-be assassin here, Sarah Jane Moore, gets tackled to the ground, and the gun is wrestled away by a San Francisco police captain named Dirty Harry Callahan. I'm just kidding, folks. It's not him. Ford is escorted immediately to his limousine, taken back to Air Force One, and heads back to D.C. Starting a few weeks later, he's going to start wearing that bulletproof trench coat that we talked about. Because for a guy we skip over in the history books, he doesn't miss any public appearances after that. There's 2 attempts on his life within 17 days, and he goes, "Nah, got to get out there and meet the people, man.
Yeah.
Got to see what it's
I'm
all
a
about."
stand-up person. Wow.
This is a pretty great one here. Sarah Jane Moore will plead guilty and is sentenced to life in prison. She gives an interview to Ellen Hume from the LA Times I talked about.
Right.
And Ellen Hume's like, "Hey, you should plead insanity, right?" And she goes, "Nope, I know what I did." This is her exact quote. "Am I sorry I tried? Yes and no. Yes, because it accomplished little except to throw the rest of my life away. But no, I'm not sorry I tried because the time it seemed was a correct expression of my anger."
Really?
Good
That's
for
what
her,
you're
right?
going with. Good,
Yeah,
good for
her.
you. Yeah.
She finally did get noticed, though. That's the key, just not in the way that she thought she would.
Yeah. She's fucking nuts.
She's not done being nuts yet. She goes to jail. It's a life sentence. She escapes prison in 1979.
She escaped?
She escaped prison in 1979.
Who is this Shawshank ass fucking woman?
Movies have ruined us. I'm like, wow, they're really not good at their jobs anywhere. So
how does she escape prison?
to their credit, they do get her back into jail within hours, I believe. But when they asked her about her attempted escape, she goes, "Well, if I had known I'd be recaptured so quickly, I probably would have just stopped in somewhere for a drink and a burger." And we're like, "Oh, you this is a midlife crisis gone wrong."
This woman ain't think this shit through at all.
No. I'm gonna solve all of the left-wing solution to our problem is Nelson Rockefeller is president, or I'm gonna break out of jail.
Break out of jail.
Where is there like can we go to like an In-N-Out Burger?
Is there
or
a pub nearby? Is there a pub near?
I'm looking
for a beer.
Dude, a Baconator would just be killer right now.
Nice. It's the McRib.
I got to get back to prison though. My friend Ty Raney is coming to entertain us later.
I gave up a soup to see him perform.
Dude, she does wind up seeing her goal, by the way. She does see President Ford dies before she actually gets out of prison.
How did President Ford die? I'm not clear.
Natural causes.
Natural causes.
Yeah, natural causes.
Was it the heavy fucking coat he was wearing? Because that's heavy goddamn coat.
It's got to be
a bulletproof trench coat.
It's got to be Kevlar adjacent, right on that one.
That's just heavy as fuck. It's like wearing a circus tent all day.
Good shoulder workout. I mean, the guy's a former linebacker.
I mean, he's huge. He's a big dude.
Dude, he was our guest last week, Josie. We showed a young photo of him to her, and she goes, "Oh, he was a handsome man."
I'd picture him looking like a handsome version of Thanos, kind of big. Just
I like that.
Yeah,
that would. Dude, it's these damn Avengers keep taking pot shots at the president.
Yeah, right.
But she does escape out of prison, and she's still not done being. She's still not done being crazy, folks. Ford dies in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
She gets paroled in 2007.
Okay.
She serves 33 years of her life sentence. At age 89, about 5 years ago,
right,
she gets arrested again.
At 89?
At 89, dude.
The fuck are you doing at 89?
It was a parole violation. She left the country without telling her probation officer.
Oh, let that old motherfucking lady go.
They did let
Please,
her go.
You can't. Come on. She's 89.
Come on. It was only that one thing I did. Yeah, but you tried to kill the president.
Yeah, you tried to kill the president.
It was a nuts story, man. But she was... I'm trying to get to the guy who wound up saving the president, the guy who knocked down the arm, because that's a whole crazy...
Yes.
But when I'm trying to condense this, I was like, all right, if I'm going to tell just this part of the story, I got to skip over a housewife who's gone berserk, and our girl Sarah, and I have to skip over a Manson girl who had a malfunction. Right. So that I can't skip over those.
No, lack of training.
So,
that's not malfunctioning. The shit functioned fine. She just wasn't trained.
You're right. Yeah. There's no dumb tools, just dumb operators.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yo.
Oh man, you got anything you want to say to the people on our way out? We're wrapping this bad boy up.
This shit is wild. KP, I always have a good time here, and I learned a little bit more of American history, and you put it in such an interesting way that you make people want to tune in.
Thank you, man.
And I appreciate that. And there's a lot of shit to take in. And I'm really impressed by your notes and the rabbit holes you go down.
I wish it was harder to find this info.
it just kind of jumps out at you, huh?
Well, how do you not make a movie about that? That's how I look at it. It's always, if I was to make a movie, this is a 3-part movie now.
That could have been a series. That could have been a whole Netflix series. That crazy fucking woman at 89, you break parole, you get arrested breaking parole.
She's got a fan club. She has people that love her.
I bet she does.
I hate to say it, but the more I read about it, I'm like, all right, I
bet you some crazy women got her tattooed on their back or some shit.
Here's the best news. She's coming to Skankfest, folks. She's going to be at Skankfest.
Oh,
But you're the man as always. I appreciate you, Ty.
No, thank you.
And again, thank you to Dom and Harrington, and thank you to you listeners over here at Gas Digital. That was Sarah Jane Moore, American Loser.
On the edge they take the throne, built on bones of those unknown. Not in first, never last, still erased from the past.